X-Play, TV's most watched video game show.
Today on X-Play, we go hands-on with the world broadcast premiere demo of MLB 2K8 and see what groundbreaking changes are in store. We'll review the first 3 episodes of Sam and Max Season 2. These detectives are anything but cute, lovable pets. Plus, we review conflict denied ops and acknowledge its existence in our brutally honest debriefing. Get ready to move in. It's game time.
Welcome to X-Play. I am Morgan Webb.
And I'm Adam Sessler. We're coming to you from the G4 studios in Los Angeles on Wednesday, February 13th. And we've got a great show for you today with the broadcast premiere for MLB 2K8. And Kristen Holt's got the ultimate cheats for the orange box on the Xbox 360.
Plus, we've got a review of the new shooter, Conflict Denied Ops, which is a weird name to me. But first, here's all of today's top headlines in our gaming update.
Well, it looks like the third age isn't quite over yet. A new Lord of the Rings game is currently being developed at Pandemic Studios. The title was revealed during a recent analyst report from Electronic Arts. Now, no details have been confirmed in regards to the title's type of gameplay, but if it follows in the footsteps of the Mercenaries or Star Wars Battlefront franchises, there's a good chance we'll end up buying it. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Ooh. In addition to finishing the Mass Effect trilogy and working on a still unnamed new MMO, BioWare appears to be working on a new Knights of the Old Republic game similar to the Pandemic League. A KOTOR sequel appears to have been mentioned in an EA analyst report. Since no official announcement has been made by EA regarding a KOTOR sequel, we'll have to consider the game rumor for now. And there's more. Electronic Arts has announced that Spore is going to ship on September 7th, 2008. Will Wright's evolutionary epic will be available for the PC, Macintosh, Nintendo DS, and mobile phone platforms. Gamers will have a chance to create, discover, and share new content while playing through the game's title pool, creature, tribal, and space phases. It is worth noting that EA's press release did not mention a release date for the Wii version of Spore. The existence of Command & Conquer Red Alert 3 was finally confirmed by the April cover of PC Gamer. While the Hungarian version of the cover was first leaked onto the internet, the English cover was soon revealed by the magazine's senior executive editor, Chuck Osborne. The issue will hit newsstands on March 4th and will feature exclusive details on the next chapter in the Red Alert series. Well, that's all for today's gaming update, clearly brought to you by EA. You can always get the latest news and video game headlines on the go right on your iPod with the Gaming Update Podcast, one of iTunes' best podcasts of 2007. Head over to g4tv.com/podcast to subscribe. And now, let's go over to Morgan with the results of our latest investigation.
Thanks, Adam. When in need of private investigators, you call a sleazy ex-cop with a drinking problem, not a dog and a rabbit. Sam and Max, however, are the exception to this rule, but who are these two cult icons? Well, we did a little investigating of our own to find out.
The Sam and Max series started life as an indie comic, but became better known thanks to a clever PC game adaptation in 1993. Sam and Max Hit the Road was a point-and-click adventure title much like old Sierra games. In the quirky adventure title, Sam the dog and Max the rabbit are on the hunt for the legendary Sasquatch. Gamers and critics alike fell in love with the game's oddball sense of humor, and it seemed like a sequel would be completed quickly. But because the point-and-click marketplace was slowly shrinking, a follow-up wouldn't be announced for nearly a decade. Sam and Max Freelance Police would use 3D graphics while maintaining the original voice cast. But despite the valiant efforts of employees, the sequel was mysteriously canceled in 2004.
Where are we headed now, Sam?
In 2005, when the rights reverted to original series creator Steve Purcell, fans finally got some good news. Sam and Max would return in a series of 6 episodic games set to hit digital distribution service GameTap.
The Freelance Police are here to keep the peace.
With a devoted following, it looks like these two will be fighting crime for a long time to come.
Don't worry, this won't hurt a bit.
Oh, but it will make you cry.
Sam always wears a suit and tie, while Max is always totally nude. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that. These two deviant freelance police officers are back in all new adventures that recently debuted on GameTap. Here's our review of Sam and Max Season 2.
Ding dong! Justice calling!
Sam and Max Season 2 has thus far been just as good, if not better, than the first one. The duo's brief hiatus has made them even more irreverent, if that were possible.
Hey kids, want to silence those inner voices?
Do I?
Episode 1 of the new season has the crime-fighting pair take on the cruelest, craziest enemy they've ever tackled, Santa Claus.
Ho 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 ho! He's hilarious!
Episode 2 introduces a bizarre portal that somehow sends Sam and Max to Easter Island.
More tropical than I imagined a horrific alternate dimension to be.
And Episode 3 introduces them to an even greater threat. Yes? Zombies.
Yeah, the Europeans make the most refined undead.
Each new installment provides plenty of the oddball humor you come to expect, plus a well-balanced sense of difficulty that won't get you stuck on arbitrary hard parts. Thankfully, they've also eliminated a lot of the branching conversation paths that hold up these sort of affairs. And there are also fun mini-games to break up the sleuthing.
I want to shoot things!
Don't we all? Unfortunately, it's not a snag-free experience. The series could probably use some more new locations. They reuse environments over and over and over again. If we have to make another trip to Bosco's, we're gonna scream.
I think my package is the bomb!
And although the lines are funny, the inexpressive 3D models just can't keep up with the whip-smart dialogue.
A powerful magnetic pole.
Roman Polanski?
But overall, we're pleased to say that this series just keeps getting funnier and smarter with time. At this rate, Season 3 may just get a 5.
What goes up must come down.
But for now, Sam and Max Season 2, Episodes 1, 2, and 3 get a 4.
I'm liking the sound of this.
Out of 5. Hey, that worked out nicely.
Coming up on X-Play, Kristen Holt has a fire sale on Orange Box cheats. Then, we make our trainer sign gag orders as we go hands-on with the world broadcast premiere demo of MLB 2K8. Plus, the CIA doesn't know anything about our review of Conflict Denied Ops. All that and more. Stay put. Brought to you by the U.S. Navy. Navy, accelerating your life.
At J4.
Which game in the Devil May Cry series do you think is the best?
Welcome to X-Play, and thank you for your question, John Edwards. You know, you really kind of let yourself go out of dropping out of the race, you know?
Yeah.
Come on, keep the hope alive. Okay, as far as Devil May Cry, a lot of people think Part 3 is the best, but I find it insanely difficult to the point of not being fun.
It is very hard, but it has some good balanced style. It's replayable. Okay, for the rest of them, 1, too old.
Yep.
2, too bad.
Awful.
4, might be too easy.
Yeah, and also it's
Uninspired.
just not that inspired.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that the Devil May Cry series, it had its time. It might be time to move on to some new things.
Yes, so if you haven't played it, you don't need to go back. One of the great things about the Orange Box is that you get 5 games for the price of 1, but this also means that you can have up to 5 times the frustration. Thankfully, Kristen Holt is here to help you keep your cool.
Thanks, Morgan. The Orange Box promises hours upon hours of great gameplay. But if you don't have the time to make it through each individual title, I've got some tricks that will let you cut right to the chase. What would the virtual land of video games be without classic button codes to cheat through your favorite games? A world much like that of Gordon Freeman in Valve's latest release, The Orange Box. An unhappy one. Considered to be the best bargain on the shelf, you get a total of 5 games all bundled up for the price of 1. If you picked up a copy on the Xbox 360, then you'll enjoy classic old-school cheats like God Mode and others. When you load up any Half-Life 2 game on the Orange Box, including episodes 1 and 2, enter this code at any time to enable invincibility. Now you can run around with an ego trip bigger than Kanye West without suffering any damage. And since we're cheating, why play from the beginning of the game? Skip past those slow-paced starter missions and get to the really juicy stuff with this code. It unlocks all the levels in each Half-Life 2 game, including episodes 1 and 2. It's City 17 a la carte, so to speak. And if you thought the deals stopped with 5 games in one box, this code also unlocks all the different test chambers in Portal. That's 4 games completely unlocked for the price of 1 code. Even Walmart couldn't flash that deal. But once you've skipped to a level in Portal you wish to conquer, you might find yourself in some trouble at times. Instead of losing your cool, check out a couple of cheats I saved just for you. If it seems impossible to retrieve an aperture science cube to hold down that stupid button, then let's just make one ourselves. Enter this code on your Xbox 360 controller, and you'll have those doors open in no time. But if you're feeling a little lazy today, then just use this code to place your portals anywhere. Zap those annoying metal walls, and you'll see why this cheat is unstoppable. Did I mention when using any of these codes you can still earn achievement points? Orange Box is not only the best bargain for its 5 games in one, it's also the best bargains for cheats, too. Be sure to check out all these cheat codes and more on the web at www.g4tv.com/cheat.
And before you ask, I don't have any codes for Team Fortress 2. Remember, no one likes a cheater in multiplayer games. Be sure to check g4tv.com/cheat for the latest tips and tricks. Right now, I'm going to send it back over to Adam.
Well, thanks, Christian. If you're like me and prone to fits of roid rage, playing sports is not a good idea. That's why I take my aggression home and channel it through a console. In today's X List, we take a look at the top 5 selling sports games. Number 5 is Burnout Paradise, the game that makes me glad I don't have to upgrade my license in real life. Number 4 is We Play, proof that you can bundle a Wiimote with just about anything and get some high sales figures.
At number 3, we have the biggest rivalry since Britney Spears and Dignity, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Number 2 is Game Party. It features the exciting game of virtual darts, so you can drink as much as you want and no one loses an eye.
And at number 1 is Tiger Woods PGA Tour 08. If you hate nature, exercise, and lack the blue blood to get into the country club, this is the game for you.
And don't forget, next week we're headed to San Francisco to bring you the complete coverage of the Game Developers Conference, GDC 08.
We'll have exclusive interviews with gaming's biggest names, demos you won't see anywhere else, breaking news of the keynotes, and much more.
Our 5-day GDC 08 coverage starts Monday night at 8, only on G4. You want more info? Check out g4tv.com/xplay.
All right, stick around. We're going to be right back.
Yeah.
Up next on X-Play, batting practice is over. We go hands-on with our exclusive live demo of MLB 2K8. Then, don't miss our review of Conflict, Denied Ops. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to X-Play. In the past few years, baseball's had enough controversy to make TMZ blush. Well, if you're sick of the gossip and the scandal, we're set to get back to the basics for some good old-fashioned fun and go hands-on with MLB 2K8.
With the football season officially over, our attention now turns to baseball. 2K Sports, the sole third-party publisher with the rights to the MLB license, is set to debut their latest installment of their baseball franchise. With new controls, improved AI, and the ability to play in the minor leagues, we're ready to step up to the plate for a game of MLB 2K8. Joining us today is executive producer from 2K Los Angeles, Ben Brinkman. Thank you so much for stopping by. Obviously, thanks for bringing by MLB 2K8. Let's stop for a moment and think about 2K7. What do you feel worked in that version, and what didn't? And how did that affect the changes we're going to see this year?
Yeah, I think with 2K7, our big strategy was just going back to the drawing board and coming back to a game that was fun, that played a realistic game of baseball. So as far as that goes, I think we were pretty successful. That said, there were some glitches with the game, with fielding, for example. Hitting didn't always feel that rewarding. Pitching kind of felt a little bit prehistoric at times, so there were some issues with it. But overall, it was a fun game, and that was what we set out to create, but we definitely had a lot of room to grow.
Fielding, you guys had some trouble with it with 2K7. This is actually quite common in a lot of baseball games out there. What's the greatest challenge when trying to put together fielding into a game?
Trying to make it look good and feel good. I think, you could make it feel good till the cows come home by just warping guys to spots and not worrying about how their feet look, and just basically taking them from A to B, saying catch the ball. But we're next gen now. We want it to look good and feel good. So it's a fine balance of how do we capture both of those things and giving the user something that feels rewarding and then looks fantastic, as you see on the screen right here.
So the signature stances of the athletes, are we going to see them again? Have you been working on making them look exactly like they do when they get up to the plate?
Yeah, that was something that was a huge success for us. It was just something that we just did. We're like, we need these guys to look believable. So we more than doubled all of our pitching, all of our batting. We also have signature walk-ups this year. So, if a guy walks up to the plate and has a certain routine that he does every time. One of my favorites is Carlos Guillen. Gets in there and kind of does this weird lean back with the bat, and it just looks so fantastic. But yeah, almost every starter for every team has a batting stance, and almost every big name pitcher in the game. The numbers are staggering. I won't bore people with them, but just you'll be playing the game and you'll be like, oh my gosh, that looks like so and so.
One question. This is true for a lot of games. Do you think can we see the rosters being updated throughout the year, obviously by downloading that information, so it's more in tune with what's actually happening during the current baseball season?
That's a tough question, actually, because there are some unknowns, or not unknowns, but there's some intangible things that happen there that people don't often know about. We have an agreement with the Major League Baseball Players Association. And before we release the roster, they have to sign off on it, So, if we could take a trade that happened today, more than likely, we'd want to get it approved by the PA, obviously, tested to make sure it doesn't break the game, and then roll it out. So, best case scenario, we can turn it around in about a week. We are trying to improve that, though, because we want to give people the most recent roster and have them playing with their real team.
Now, also, you're doing another interesting thing with downloadable content in terms of a trading card system. How does that work exactly?
Well, I'm so excited about our trading card feature in the game this year. It's something that, cards are endemic to baseball, trading cards. Whether you put them in just spokes of your bike, or you throw them against the wall, or you trade them with your buddy. It's just something that's synonymous with baseball. So we added a whole feature that has so many different facets to it that it would take all this interview, so I won't go into it. But part of it is downloadable content in that you get new cards after the game ships. So guys trade from one team to another, they sign with one team or another, we'll release a card of that guy in his new uniform. And in order to unlock the card, you have to complete an in-game challenge.
Ben, thank you so much for stopping by and bringing the game with you. All right, MLB 2K8 will be in stores on March 4th, but right now, let's head back over to Morgan.
When X-Play returns, we review conflict-denied ops for the Xbox 360 and see if this shooter is worth deploying. But first, let's take a look at the top 100 in today's leaderboard for Madden 08.
Milk this cow for all it's worth, which is milk. But we'll be back tomorrow with an all-new X-Play at 8. And on tomorrow's show, medieval assassinations get tiny and cute. Assassin's Creed Altair's Chronicles come to the DS. We've got a review. Plus, X-Play takes a special trip to Assassin School, and we get a glimpse of Altair's day job, the disgruntled teacher.
Then we go on location with Ryan Howard to see what it's like to be MLB 08's cover boy. I'm sure it's very draining. Plus, Mr. Stark revs his engine and drops the gauntlet in Paradise City with another gamer challenge.
And it gets even better this Friday. We'll show you,
awesome.
Yes, we'll show you what it's like to be an independent game developer in our ongoing series, Will Work for Games. We'll also have a review of Sega's new arcade points-obsessed shooter, The Club.
Plus, we have the world broadcast premiere demo of NBA Baller's Chosen One. Expect plenty of showboating and, people getting the business. Have you ever driven against Mr. Stark?
Yes, I have. He's like Iceman from Top Gun, except for wheels and not as much about Kilmer.
Well, that's too bad, but sounds good. And you are watching the X-Play Weekend Edition. Another episode is going to start right now. Thanks for watching.
Lucky guys.